You said that I even asked you before start doing this, like your experience of landscape or artist of the year, which is really curious because yeah, I don't get that many artists that had the chance to participate or such like a really big program like that, especially because there are not that many program for artists.
No.
And yeah, how was your experience with the show?
Yeah, that whole thing is if you know, I come over as quite, you know, quite open, quite adventurous. Inside, I'm scared. um, I literally submitted this because they extended the deadline, and I just thought, and I think, you know, and that's another thing out of isolation, being in the lockdown, is that there was no, apart from my husband, there's no one, or WhatsApping my daughter or my son. There was no one really to give me any kind of affirmation, because he will tell me the truth. He will say that is rubbish, you know. And you're never quite sure on Instagram whether somebody's being genuine or
Yeah.
they're just liking it, you know, because you know, you're not quite sure. And I think I was because I'm not a morning person. I tend to paint into quite late at night, which negates what I said earlier about needing light. And my husband has got me this beam of a light. I don't know if you can see it here.
Yeah.
Because I was working so late at night to give me a bit more light, and I was working quite late, and I just thought, and I had a glass of wine in my hand, or the second glass, and I just thought, I'm going to hit that button,
Yeah.
and I'm going to, and I think, you know how sometimes you do things and you don't know why you do them. You know?
You're like, why even bother? But
Yeah, so I think part of me, and it's almost like, you know, with technology, you know, you get all these bots and everything, and people, you know, who troll you, you know. The computer's there, and sometimes it doesn't seem real when you upload something and submit it. So I think I just submitted it, and then when I got the call, I thought it was a spam. I thought it was I thought it was one of these hoax callers, you know.
Yeah.
And then you get an interview. Just to make sure you're not a nutter, I think. And and I had
which is always good check-in. You never know.
Exactly. So yeah, I had an hour of interview, and I had 3 options to pull out. I had 3 opportunities to pull out.
Okay.
Because are you sure you're comfortable doing this? You know the camera's going to be on you. You know, if your reserve. And you know that we often just have somebody who doesn't turn up. Are you okay? You sure you're okay with this? 3 times that was it. It's almost like the Judas scene, you know. And I kept saying to myself, not everybody gets this opportunity, you know.
Yeah.
You know, because part of me thinking, oh shit, what have I done, you know. Do I really want to put myself out there? Do I deserve to be put out there, you know? And then when we arrived at the location, I think I was really physically ill. I couldn't sleep the night before. I was thinking, oh, and then I had to hang around waiting to see to the last minute to see if anybody had dropped out, and the relief that I felt. And then and they said if everybody turns up, you can join the wild cards. And I hadn't realized that you can apply separately to be a wild card. I didn't realize that. And so that was great. So I was in with people who I think almost treat it like a Butlins holiday, should I say? I shouldn't say that. You know, they do it every year. You know, they do it every year. That I shouldn't use that phrase because that implies dumbing down, which there were a lot of good people there. I made friends with one print artist who is fascinating. And but it was just fascinating, just being behind the scenes.
Yeah, because obviously, like, you see the edit part, and everybody's happy, everybody's super, everything's amazing.
And also it's quite interesting watching people who were quite confident and some people who almost expected to be chosen, which I thought, whoa, really?
Yeah.
And you saw there's one guy who started off really well, and his wife was almost mentoring him. You know, you felt as though he was on some kind of coaching program. And he went from doing what, because he quickly knocked up something. It was at Chartwell, and he quickly knocked up this amazing piece. And then he spent the next hour destroying it, or virtually. And I thought, oh my God, how did you get there? And of course he would, and it reflected, and he was a very tall guy. I mean, I'm only just 5 foot, and he was getting on for 7. And we were near each other, even though we were socially distanced. And you could see this tall guy getting shorter than me, you know, through despair.
Was he happy with the result, or
no? He was, and he ended up going off in a tantrum before the end.
Oh, God.
Which I thought was quite a shame. But I think what was also interesting was when the judges were making the final decision, because they encourage you to come round and you watch the filming of it and the retakes, and the discussion that goes on. So when you see it for real, you realize how heavily edited it is.
Imagine, yeah.
And I think also, you know, for anyone who happens to watch this edition, it's a good thing to be part of, because I think I always feel the art community is quite safe on the whole, and there's a lovely sort of the program, I think, is improved over the years, and there's a lovely, I don't know, it's like a supportive, nurturing,
nice
atmosphere. It's really good. You ought to try the portrait artist of the year.
Yeah, I did want to submit a couple of times. I was really close to apply for it, but then in the end I was like, probably it's not even worth it and stuff like that. But you know, it's what we were talking about before. Like, am I even like that? Even gonna look at my stuff? Or
yeah, but I think the thing is, there are lots of people have messaged me saying, you know, you really should apply again this year, and no one seems to understand that. I just feel it's a great thing to do, but it's not for me.
Yeah, especially if you know what it's gonna be, like, you have a clear idea.
It's not even that. It's just that it's not. I think the first time around it was all about being afraid of putting myself out there and not feeling I should be there, even though I got selected to be reserved. But I think for me, there is so much I want to do, and I don't want that to. I really don't need that to get in the way.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, no, you don't want to kind of be refined in the people see you that way.
Yeah, I don't want that to define me.
No, it makes sense. In the end, it's just like it's an experience. Like, it doesn't have.
Yeah, exactly. And there are lots of other experiences I might end up getting, which I am getting.
Yeah. So
and I find those satisfying.